What is going on, everybody? So today I'm sitting inside of the 2020 A90 GR Supra. Now, if you don't know anything about that, GR is going to stand for Gazoo Racing, who helped Toyota build this vehicle. And then there's another partner that you guys probably already know of, and I'll mention that as soon as we get into the video. Now, I'm the last person on earth, I feel like, to drive this new Supra. So to make up for that, I'm going to attempt to provide the most in-depth and thorough review of this car that there is. It's a very bold claim, but I'm going to do my absolute best to deliver on that. So if you guys have never heard of my channel, welcome to Forrest Auto Reviews. I'm Forrest, and we're going to go over every detail about this car. I love to be thorough, so we're going to look at the exterior in detail, the interior in detail. We're going to take it for a drive through some canyons. We're going to see what it looks like at night, see how it fits all of our stuff, and it's going to be a really fun time. So let's go ahead and get started. What is going on, everyone? So let's go ahead and check out the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. Now, if you've never heard of the Supra, you have obviously been hiding under a rock. So to explain very briefly, this was a collaboration between Toyota and BMW to bring back the legendary Supra. Now, when I first heard of this collaboration, I was actually very, very excited. I thought, man, Toyota's gonna, provide an awesome engine. They're gonna bring back something like a 2JZ, but better. BMW's gonna provide the platform, hopefully the transmission, and in my mind, that was like the perfect combination, and I thought that was the best partnership ever created. However, once the vehicle debuted, a lot of people were disappointed to find out that there was a lot more BMW than we wanted. So chassis, transmission, and engine. So Toyota did not provide the most crucial part of this car, at least in a lot of people's opinion. Now, after driving it, I am very, very impressed with it. However, a lot of people wanted a Toyota built engine for this vehicle, and with Toyota being known for reliability, that may or may not be an issue in the future, but Toyota assures that that will not be an issue. So they are putting the reputation on it, and we'll see how that plays out in the future. Now, as starting with the MSRP on this one, you can get it starting at around $49,000. This one, as is mid $50,000. This is fully loaded without being like the limited edition, which is somewhere in like the $55,000 range. But you guys can see the MSRP of this one here on the screen. And it's actually not a bad price. I think it's pretty fairly priced. The other thing I do like is the red on this. This is Renaissance red, and it looks good. I think that's another thing that they took from BMW, because this is a thick, high quality paint coat. It looks fantastic. It's very vibrant, and it just has a good look to it, especially with all the black accents going around the vehicle. Now, coming to the front, this was inspired a lot by the FT1 concept, which was one of the most beautiful concept cars I had ever seen. And obviously, this is what you get when you have a car that's forced to come back down to production car standards. So it has to meet all the requirements. And so this is what you get. It's kind of like a neutered down version, but it still looks pretty good. I will admit the front doesn't look that great in pictures and videos, so I'm sure this video isn't doing it any more justice than any other video you've seen. However, in person, I know you guys hear this a lot, it looks a lot better. Everything just kind of makes more sense in person. You look at it and you're like, okay, like I can really see how they thought that this looked good, because in person it does look pretty good, especially because you're seeing the whole car. And let's face it, video just can't do what our eyes can do. And so anyways, my favorite part is going to be the headlights though. I love these headlights. They have this like 3 double stacked thing going on, and it looks very futuristic. I like it. It looks cool during the day. You have a daytime running LED that looks fantastic. At night, the headlights are extremely bright. Obviously, you have full LEDs on here. You don't have a single incandescent bulb on this car. Things I don't like are this fake vent, and then the fake one right over there. Now, in Toyota's defense, that one does house like radars and things like that. However, these two aren't going to be for any purpose. Now, Toyota says that you can remove those and that they are functional. I'm not going to pop them off myself because this is a press car. If you own one and you've taken the liberty of popping them off yourself, comment below. Let me know if they are actually functional or if that's just a bunch of hot air coming out of Toyota. But either way, I like the front. I like this little black lip down here. I think that does look pretty good. I like this little bulge, like nose coming right there. I think that looks fantastic. And there's little details, like you can see this little crease right here, and all this comes together, like I said, in person, because your eyes can capture a lot more of that than a camera or a picture can. Then once you come up to the hood, I love these bulgy fenders right here. And you guys can see the line from right here, and if you look at it from the back side, it's even more prominent. Now, as you come off to the side, you have this clamshell style hood, so the hood has a line right there. You guys can see that. And it just looks really good. And here's another great look at that paint coat. I mean, it is just a beautiful color. Now, this vent, fake. It looks fantastic, but fake. If they would have made it like a little paint stripe or something, maybe like the Grand Sport does or something, I don't know. Either way, it looks good, but it is a little, I guess, poser that it's not real. Okay, so now let's talk about the wheels. So these are 19-inch twin 5-spoke alloy wheels. Now you can see it's like half gloss black, half chrome. I think it looks really cool, as a matter of fact. I like the wheels. They fit the car. I would personally prefer the all black wheels. I just think it would really fit with this color. But these still look good either way. I don't think they're the coolest wheel I've ever seen, but they're appropriate, and you know, I think it's a good fit. Now, these are wrapped in Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, and this does have a staggered setup. So this is, I believe, 255 35s up front, 275 35s in the rear, and you know, it's going to have a lot of grip, and because of that staggered setup, it really helps it handle a little bit better. Now, as you come down, you're going to have this like black side sill going down here. You've got this, which once again looks really cool, but this one's going to be fake. This is just on the door. So if I open the door here, that is just right there. You guys can see there's nothing leading to anywhere. So I felt like that was a little interesting, but you know, it looks good, I guess. That's just another strike in terms of fake vents. Now, as you back up a little bit, I love this like boom fastback design right there. It looks really cool. And this is a small car. This has a shorter wheelbase than a GT86 BRZ FRS. And then on top of that, you have a much wider stance to it than those cars. Now, that wideness doesn't really equate to the interior, and I'll talk about that once we get to the interior. Then as we move to the quarter panel view, this is my favorite angle. This thing looks mega aggressive, and these rear haunches right here, according to Toyota, this is the most like aggressive panel that they have ever stamped in like production history. So I think the LC500 is about as wide, but it doesn't have that aggressive of a slope right there, and because of that slope, it makes it a lot more difficult to manufacture. And I think that really played out in Toyota's favor. The back is hands down my favorite part of this car. I think if they were to get that same just presence and that same feel that the back gives you and translate that to the front, this would be the most beautiful car I have ever seen. But the front's a little up and down for me sometimes. Now, as you come back here, you have one more fake vent, which is going to be this one right here. I think that this one would be fine if they just left it there. I wouldn't have cared, to be honest, because it gives it just this really cool look. But you know, it is worth noting that that is a fake vent as well. Now, you do have these LED lights back here. The LED lights have a really cool look to them. I absolutely love everything about the back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's no negatives for me back here. You've got this like ducktail spoiler, which is integrated into the trunk lid, and I think that's the coolest thing ever. It's just a great design. Then as you come right here, you've got that Supra badge coming right there. GR badge, which is Gazoo Racing, which is who basically helped tune and make this car. You've got your reverse light right there, which is full LED, so you guys can see it reversing, and the LED's coming on right there. And then you've got these dual-tipped exhausts, which look really good. They're very big, and they sound incredible, so let's go ahead and see how it sounds. All right, everyone, so here's your key for the Toyota Supra. Now, if you have driven a newer BMW, you guys can see this is the exact same key, and this shares nothing in common with any Toyota key. Now, you have your unlock, your lock, trunk release, panic. You have a physical key on the inside to get in the car if the battery on this dies or if the battery on the car were to die. Just click that back in. Obviously, Toyota badge, and you've got this nice red accent at the back. Now, to get in, you can obviously lock or unlock using the key, but if you walk up to the door, you're going to have a touch sensitive area located right there, so you can see that little ribbed pattern, and you would put your finger over that to lock, and there's a touchpad behind here that's going to unlock, and then once again you push this or just barely put your finger on that to lock. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and hop inside of the Supra. Now, as soon as you open the door, you've got good door material qualities. Obviously, with BMW being a partner, you have a little bit more high-end materials mixed with the materials that Toyota uses, which is also pretty good. Now, this armrest does not have like any give to it. You can guys see it barely has any give right there, but it is a nice leather. Maybe it just needs to be broken in, but you do have some stitching right there. You're going to have your door locks here. This handle is going to be straight out of BMW. You've got this like gloss piece here, which is definitely Toyota. Obviously, your mirror controls. You're going to have 2 speakers right there for your JBL audio. Your trunk release is going to be located right down here. You've got this Toyota Supra side sill right here, which looks pretty good. And this area, so let me stand up a little bit. This area is very, very wide. So here's my shoe on top of that, and it's wider than my foot. It's pretty significant, so you do have to climb over that to get inside, and you know that is more for structural rigidity. So this car is wider than a GT86, but most of that width is going to be right here, and it doesn't really translate inside of the cabin. Now, looking inside, you are going to have memory seats located right there, so you guys can see that. Now, your seating controls are kind of down in there. You have to like reach in there to get them, so it is a little bit interesting. Then as we come to the seat, the leather quality is pretty good. It's got a nice amount of give right here. You've got some white contrast stitching going right there. You don't have any perforations or anything, but the leather is very supple. We've got some really nice side bolsters going right there. And you have this interesting like aluminum piece, which is basically plastic, but it does look good and it adds some nice character to the seat. And then obviously more stitching just adorning the rest of the seat right there. Then coming over here, all of your lighting controls, so you guys can see that. But let's go ahead and hop in and we'll check out the rest. Okay, so shutting the door on the Supra. Nice, very solid shut. Now it's a little cramped from where I'm sitting, so here's a wider angle of the interior for you guys. And then to start the car, very simple, your start-stop button is going to be located right there. Put your foot in the brake, and then you just hit that button to start. And that's all there is to it. So starting with the steering wheel, I do like the steering wheel on here. It's really nice, and I do like how this is thinner. Now these parts are thick, and when you grip right here, it just perfectly enables you to just get a nice solid confident grip. So I do like this a lot better than like BMW's really chunky steering wheels. I think this fits a lot more. And as you go down here, it's pretty thin. I don't like this huge chunky piece down here, and then the airbag kind of sticks out pretty far. So from the side, you guys can hopefully see the airbag sticks out quite a bit. Now over to the left, you can see all the controls here are very BMW-esque. So you have your cruise control here. It does have adaptive cruise. Over here to the right, all your media commands, volume. You can use this to select different songs. I'll show you guys that in just a second. Different modes, AM, FM, XM, phone commands, voice commands. Paddle shifters back here for your 8-speed auto. Downshift to the left, upshift to the right. BMW stocks, but I do like a lot of these features. It's funny because, obviously it is not a good thing that Toyota is using most of BMW parts, but some of BMW parts are very high-end, and I love this. When you switch up into auto, it lights up right there, and I think they're the only ones that do that. It's great for me because I always know when it is in automatic mode instead of having to guess. So I can just look over, see if the light's on, and if not, I can adjust it. I do really, really like that feature. Now over to the left, you are going to have your blinkers, automatic high beams, and this is to scroll through your menu right here. So if I hit that in the bottom right, you guys can see it scrolling through 18.7, but that's also with me really getting on it. I was easily getting like 33 to 34 miles per gallon in normal mode just driving on the highway, so that was very impressive. And then right back to my range. Now the gauge cluster has been designed to look more like Toyota, but an article recently came out that stated that this is in fact a BMW designed system. It was just designed to look more Toyota with the numbers and things like that, but it looks really cool. And when I hit it into sport mode, the only difference is that it says sport right there, and it changes the red line right there at the top. It just gives it a different look, and the needle turns red. That's the only difference right there. And obviously you get the pops, which sound amazing. And it's really simple. I do like tack front and center. You got your gear right there in the middle, speedometer over to the left, speed limit, and then you have a water temp over to the right, and then your fuel over here as well. Time, temperature, things like that. So everything you need to have, nothing more. We already saw these over here. As you come up, you have a vent. This is all soft touch up here. You have your head-up display, which looks really good. You can see that there. Here's a better look at it at night where it's more clear. And it's a nice head-up display, looks great. Now, as you come to this screen right here, so let me adjust my little polarizer right here. Now, this is the weird part. So it's a very dim screen. I tried to do everything I could to see it better, but the screen is just so dim. And that is the thing. I tried to adjust it, and I can't get it brighter during the day. So that is kind of frustrating. I need an oil change. Well, Toyota needs an oil change. And yeah, I do like the iDrive in here. I mean, it's technically not called iDrive for, marketing reasons, but it's iDrive, and I like it better than anything Toyota has to offer. So if I hit Apple CarPlay right there, it is going to take me to my Apple CarPlay, which is nice. And yeah, it's really good. I highly suggest BMW taking this, maybe making their own version and sharing this infotainment with BMW, because that would be a massive plus to their entire lineup. You've got this aluminum piece running all along the side down there, your vents, hazards, obviously all of your presets here, volume. I do like the addition of actual knobs. Dual zone climate control in here. So you guys can see that right there. Heated seats, no cooled seats, but you do have those for both the driver and passenger. Now, as you come right back here, you are going to have a wireless charging pad right back there. USB for your Apple CarPlay, 12 volt located right here. You've got this carbon fiber, which looks really nice. I don't know if it's real, but I don't think I would care either way because it does look incredible. Your controller for your infotainment, obviously menu, map, media, navigation, COM is kind of like web browser, back option, and you can write on top of here as well. And then obviously you have the BMW shifter. Throw it into reverse. You have your backup camera, which comes up 360 degree sensors right there. You aren't going to have a 360 view, but you also do have this backup camera, which does have guidance lines that move with the camera, so that is very nice to see. And then throw it into park, it goes right away. As you come back, you have your start stop. Your sport mode, you only have 2 modes, normal and sport, and you just hit that on, hit that off. Very simple. Parking sensors, traction control, safety systems, electronic parking brake located right there. Now as you come back, you don't have an armrest. You do have two cup holders here, so you have to rest your arm like right here. And the cup holders don't ever get in the way, so that is pretty good. You have an extra little storage cubby right back here. I have like a receipt in here, I apologize. I have the keys, and then I've got like my lens cap and like something to clean my lens right back there. So you don't have an armrest right back here. You do have a glove box, which is lockable, and it is lined in felt, so it's not gonna make a lot of noise. Auto dimming mirror. You do have LED lights right here. No moonroof. And then you are going to have your sun visor. Tiny little sun visor with this really bright LED. Pretty much it for the front. And there's no back seat, so let's go ahead and check out trunk space. Okay, so coming to the back of the Supra. Now, this is a hatchback technically, so once you pop it, you lift it right up, and boom, it opens hatchback style. Now, this does have this like cargo cover right here, which I'm not sure if it's standard or if it's an option, but either way, it is really good to have, so that way no one can see in your glass and see what you have back here. Now, once you open it, the shape of it is interesting, so you couldn't really fit like a solid square box in here without having to like navigate it slightly. But once you are past this little lip here, it's very wide and it's pretty deep. And then this is pretty much all the space you're gonna get. You have cubic feet here on the screen if you guys wanna know about cubic feet. It is illuminated at night, so you can see in here at night, LED lights, so it's very bright, that is nice. And I mean, that's pretty much it. You don't have like a spare or anything underneath here, and then you are going to have these little grab handles right up here that you can grab to shut the hatch, and then you also have an emergency release right up here as well. So pretty much it for under the trunk. Let's go ahead and see what powers this thing. Okay, so coming into the hood of the Toyota Supra. Now we pretty much already know what's going on under here. So Toyota teamed up with BMW, and then you have the B58 engine. Now this is a very tunable, very versatile engine. There's the B58 and then there's the S58, which is the more potent version of this engine that BMW uses. So the B58 is used in like the 440i, some versions of the X7, some versions of the X5, and the X3 M40i, and a bunch of other vehicles. The S58 is used in like the M3, the M3 competition, and then the new X3, X4M, and X3, X4M competition. And in those applications, it's making about 503 horsepower. So with this is making what Toyota claims is 335 horsepower and 365 pound-feet of torque. And I have seen dyno tests. So Car and Driver posted a video where they put this on a dyno. It was making about 339 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheel. So if you guys know the math, that's roughly about 400 horsepower at the crank. So I do believe this is underrated. As you guys will see in just a bit, 0 to 60 numbers will definitely prove that as well. Now, fuel economy actually isn't bad in this car. You guys can see it here on the screen, and you're talking over 30 miles per gallon in this sort of a vehicle is very, very good. That's the one thing I do like about BMW engines, is that in terms of fuel economy, they can be versatile and become very fuel efficient engines. Now obviously this is going to run just off of premium fuel. Most people would put that in this car anyways, no matter what engine it was using, but that premium fuel does help generate the most power out of this engine. So it's a pretty good power plant. Obviously it's no 2JZ, but let's go ahead and get it on the road and see how it does. Okay everybody, so I don't know if you guys can see this here, but this is my phone, and I'm just going to use this to try and time my 0 to 60. Now obviously this isn't the best way to do it. I really need to invest in like a Draggy or V-Box or something like that. So unfortunately this is the only way I have to do it. Now 0 to 60 is very interesting. You have to put in sport, and then you have to hit traction off one time. There's 3 settings. There's on, there's like a sport traction, and then there is completely off. You want the sport traction in sport mode. I just leave it in automatic because it shifts faster. If you don't shift right on the upshift, it'll bog down, and that'll really hurt your 0 to 60 time. Now, here's the interesting thing. To activate launch control, obviously foot down all the way on the brake and then floor it. If you don't like give it the right amount of throttle application, what's gonna happen is it's gonna hunker down, and then the back wheels are just gonna start spinning, and it kind of looks like this. So Granted, it's really fun to do, but at the same time, it is frustrating when you are trying to get a good launch out of this car. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it, make sure this is on. And like I said, I'm gonna do my best to do this. This probably isn't the best way, but we will definitely try and see. So foot all the way down the brake, floor it, and here we go. See, I got some wheel spin right there. Let's try it one more time. All the way down the brake, floor it, and here we go. Still more wheel spin. Let's try just accelerating. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And 60. That was pretty good. It says 4.19. And you know, that's without having a good amount of grip and things like that. I mean, the way this pushes back, I can easily see this doing like maybe high 3s, 3.8, 3.9. So, you know, it's a good amount of power, and that alone tells you that this is very underrated from the factory. Okay, everybody, so we are in Ortega Highway, beautiful day, and we're gonna go downhill and see how the Supra does. So let's go ahead and hop on in. Okay, so getting up here is fine. Now the biggest difference is that now we're going downhill. So this is really gonna be able to test the brakes and things like that. So let me just make sure no one's coming. Give myself a little bit more time because I didn't see anybody coming down on the way up here, which is great news. So once this big truck goes by, all right, you guys, here we go. I have traction on. Oh, those upshifts sound so good. Now, obviously, we are in sport mode. And the second thing you notice, or the first thing you notice, I'm sorry, is the louder exhaust, more pops. The transmission is a lot more aggressive. The ride firms up quite a bit, and your steering gets really, really tight, and it feels great. So, ooh, and you get those super loud pops. Now the tires are warmed up, which is great news. So those Michelin Pilot Super Sports are about to be put to work. This thing just freaking goes. Now, I've taken this road with multiple cars. I think the last one was a GTI, and this makes that car feel like child's play. And the GTI is a great car. Now, obviously, this doesn't compete with that in any form or fashion, but the fact that it makes that car, which is a good car, feel like nothing. Now, here's the funny part. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't very impressed with this car until right now. Oh my gosh. It is just hugging for dear life. Oh, those pops sound so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what this is feeling like right now. I'm gonna try to explain this the best that I can to you guys. It literally feels like you are sat in the middle of the car, like smack in the middle. You can just feel the car rotating all around you, and it's super impressive. Oh my gosh, and it grips left, hard right. Fast transitions don't really upset the car, which is good. And those pops are just echoing all throughout this canyon right now. And yeah, the brakes are very impressive, and that's a good thing, especially going downhill in the canyons. You want good brakes. I just want to hear those pops, sorry. But I could technically stay in fourth gear this whole way. And yeah, fast transitions are just, oh my gosh, it is just like pulling my face right now. Okay, I am convinced that this could hang with some very, very fast cars up here. I would actually like to see this against, I mean, heck, even against the new Vet out here. I mean, this thing, once you're out here, this car makes more sense. The way it utilizes this power is perfect. And what I mean by that is you can use all of this power and there's never a point where you're worried about the back end coming loose. Now, I do have traction on, but still, you're not worried about that. You're not worried about ever having any sort of issue when it comes to oversteer in this sort of situation. And I mean, really, that's what you want. You want that confidence factor, and this gives it to you in spades. My gosh. But I'm gonna be quiet and let you guys listen to this. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up my review of the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. So, like I had already mentioned, I think that I'd be very interested to drive the 2021 model and see if it does feel different, to see if there is a power difference. I actually like the blue color that is offered and that extra little spoiler on top of the duck lid spoiler in the back. I think that makes it look a lot better. Plus, blue is like my favorite color, so there's that. And the car is good. I think really my only complaint is going to be the fact that the sound system isn't that good. It's probably not a big deal, but since this is a great Grand Tourer, since it is very comfortable, there are moments when I caught myself driving in just automatic mode, sport mode off, and just cruising along, listening to music. And it is frustrating whenever you have a really good song that comes on and it just doesn't sound as good. I've been in multiple cars where I've listened to basically the same songs, and I think this is on the bottom end of the spectrum, which is weird because the JBL audio is usually pretty good in every other Toyota that has it. So I'm not sure what was going on there. I do think the infotainment is a massive improvement over what Toyota offers. I like the buttons. The quality in here feels really high end. It feels very good. And once again, that's a huge plus over Toyota. Now, usually Toyota is known for high quality parts when it comes to like transmission and all the mechanical moving pieces, but the interior has always been a little bit lackluster in terms of materials. This fixes that issue, and I think anyone who has never been in a BMW and they are getting into a Toyota Supra, they are going to be very pleased with the material qualities in here, and everything just feels very good, very tactile. I think obviously the biggest complaint with the engine not being unique and special to this car, it doesn't drag down the experience significantly, but you are still sort of left with like that little hole missing that isn't quite filled, because once again, this does feel very familiar. And granted, the packaging is unique, but the overall heart and soul of this car is familiar. And I think that's my biggest complaint. Other than that, I really enjoy the car. It's fast. It handles just incredibly well. And yeah, I think Toyota did a great job. They could have, done worse than BMW. But ultimately, I want to know what you guys think, so comment below. Let me know your true opinions of this car. Did this video change your opinions about the car at all? Let me know that as well. If you're new to the channel, I'd love to have you guys subscribe. It's free of charge for you. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and then it'll alert you whenever I upload a video. Simple as that. And obviously like this video if you enjoyed the content. I also just added a Patreon in my description, and I consider it kind of like a tip jar. So if you guys like what I do, if you found it very helpful and you want to support even more, consider checking out my Patreon, and I hope to see you guys in the next review. Y'all take care. Bye.